Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm glad you've joined me. My topic today is teamwork, inclusivity, and the power of diversity. First, I have a book recommendation. It's called Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. It's by Susan Cain. Here it is. If you're an introvert, I highly recommend this. It was thus far very informative. If you're an extrovert, you should also read it. It might give you a little bit of insight into the world of introverts. So, with that said, I'd first like to get rid of a myth about introverts and extroverts. Just because you're an introvert doesn't mean you're quiet or shy, and just because you're an extrovert doesn't mean you're loud or outgoing necessarily. What introversion and extroversion actually means is an energy direction. How you give and get energy. So how does that combine with teamwork? Well, as we know, to get any sort of results in life, you have to both take in information and make decisions. So with a successful team, collecting information and making decisions, you are more likely to be successful when you have a good attitude. And that good attitude is coming from having more energy to spend on a task. So if you're energized and something excites you, then you're going to have a better attitude and you will probably be more successful. But on the other hand, if you find your energy starting to lower and to become depleted, you're probably going to have a pretty bad attitude and you're going to be stressed out. And when you have no energy left to give, that's when you hit burnout. So how do you avoid burnout? Well, you have to prioritize. And lucky for us, we are very diverse in the way we think. And each of us have individual priorities and a different, basically, playbook or a set of rules that we live by in order to get along. So those individual priorities, lucky for us, if you know about Myers-Briggs, as I hope some of you do, and I hope you are continuing to learn more about this. There are 16 different types of personalities within the Myers-Briggs type indicator, and those 16 different sets of priorities are called the cognitive function stack. I've mentioned that several times, but I hopefully am giving you a little bit more of a window into what that means. So those cognitive function stacks are also known as personality preferences. And within those 16 sets, you have 8 personality preferences. I'm going to talk more about the details of those and how they work later, but right now I'm trying to set up the framework, so we'll get there eventually. So anyway, to put that into a visual aid for you, under those 16 personality types, 8 personality preferences. Think of those 8 preferences as your own personal toolkit, but you have it organized according to your own priorities. So each one of those are evaluated and they're ranked in a certain position. And since we are very individualistic, you may have heard the quote, if you want something done right, to do it yourself. In the ideal world, you would use those tools in the exact order that you would prefer. But unfortunately, it's you versus the world a lot of times. No man is an island. You don't live in a bubble. So things aren't going to always go easy for you. You're probably going to butt heads with some people. So going back to the teamwork, you have to learn to get along with people. So when it's you versus the world, it's going to be your preferences versus other people's expectations. So those expectations can come from your job, from your school, from your family, whatever task that you have to complete, that doesn't always align with how you function. So, like I said, in a perfect world, taking the easy road, your preferences will align up with the job that you have to complete. But that, like I said, that doesn't always happen. So, when people descend into burnout, usually they're using the wrong tools for the job, or they're using tools that they don't use naturally, or tools that they don't use that often. So, I guess to put that into perspective, don't use a jackhammer when a chisel will do, because clearly a chisel is a very delicate instrument, and or not, maybe not super delicate, but a chisel is more delicate than a jackhammer. So if you have a delicate job to do, you're not going to tear up the place. Well, you might say, well, what if I'm a jackhammer kind of person? Well, great. You might need to learn how to use the chisel sometimes. But if you have a jackhammer job, you're not going to use a chisel, or you're going to be wasting a lot of energy trying to tear up the concrete. So, going back to the individual toolkit of personal preferences, well-rounded people, they're going to be able to see all the tools that they can use. And when they're using tools that they don't use that often, or even very naturally, the more practice they get at using those tools, the better they will become. And if a certain job requires those tools to be used, they might have a creative solution to use other tools in their toolkit to get the same result. So there is something to be said about being a well-rounded person. So the good part about Myers-Briggs is that this is giving you that full toolkit to use. And in my opinion, if you find the things that drain your energy, or parts of your job that you really don't like, when you know what's draining that energy, you can either ask for help or find a creative solution to achieve the same result. And so I guess in closing, when it comes to good leadership, good leaders, they recognize the diverse skill sets of their employees, or subordinates, or whomever they are leading. I mean, even in a parental environment with children, when you know the things that drain your energy, you can be better prepared, because you're going to be able to, I guess, compensate for the things that you're lacking. And some of you managers out there might understand this, that with your diverse team, when you nurture people's natural preferences, you are going to see a better and more healthy attitude and outlook to the task at hand. So I hope this has been helpful. Please subscribe, give me some likes, a little bit of, maybe a little bit of discourse, however you would like to be involved with this. I appreciate any and all input, so please stick with me. I have a whole lot more to let you know about. So we'll see you next time.